Next, Republican voters and candidates gather at the annual Republican Day at the State Fair, where Senator Mark Kirk makes an appearance for the first time since his nearly fatal stroke. And we'll also hear from 4 of the candidates running for governor, as each makes his case on why he should be the Republican nominee. This runs about 55 minutes.
I'd like to introduce our dear friend Congressman Rodney Davis from Taylorville, who proudly represents the 13th Congressional District. Let's please give a warm welcome to Congressman Rodney Davis.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you. You know what? No one's done this yet, and I want everybody to give a round of applause to the guy who took one of the most thankless jobs in the state of Illinois, our new chairman of the Illinois Republican Party, Jack Dorgan, doing a great job. I know how difficult that job can be. I've been out here a few times with you guys, and it's great to see the crowd here today. You know, we Republicans, we can get excited, and we will get excited because we are going to win again. I just did an interview a minute ago, and someone asked me about what it's going to take to have the unified Republican Party when we've experienced some losses. Well, you know what? Losses give us even more incentive to be that unified party, not only in the primary and after the primary, but on the way through the general election until we score that touchdown, which is taking back the governor's mansion right here in Springfield, Illinois. Who's for that? I'm honored to be able to represent this area of Springfield in the United States Congress, and I'd be remiss today if I didn't mention my good friend and my colleague Aaron Schock, who couldn't be with us. Aaron is a true leader in Washington, even at the ripe young age of, I forgot, 30-something. But you know what? Aaron is doing a phenomenal job. Wishes he could have been here, standing up here with me to talk about the good things that we're doing in Washington to stop President Obama and Nancy Pelosi and Dick Durbin from implementing their agenda without the House stopping them from doing so. And we need to continue to make that happen. And I got news for you. I'm their #1 target in the nation. Little old me from Taylorville, Illinois, they don't like me in Washington. They don't want me there. But that's okay, because that means we're doing the right thing. That means we're keeping Nancy Pelosi from ever wielding that gavel again. And we will continue to do that together. Keep sending me back, send Aaron Schock back, and let's rebuild our congressional delegation by getting some of these seats back. I see Bobby Schilling's here today too. Bobby, give Bobby a round of applause. Send Bob Dole back to Congress. Let's rebuild that Republican majority in the House and make sure that we continue to stop Nancy Pelosi from ever regaining that speakership again. And we can do that together. You know, now I have the distinct honor of introducing a very good friend of mine, somebody who I give a lot of credit to. I wouldn't even be standing here today without his help and support. But he needs your help too in the United States Senate. We can take back the Senate this year, and we can put guys like Mark Kirk in the majority, and we can fight President Obama's agenda even further when we take control of the United States Senate. Mark Kirk, I've known him for a while. This is a guy who represented Illinois in the 10th Congressional District very well for years. But Mark Kirk has never been one to back away from a challenge. Senator Kirk, as you know, faced the biggest challenge of his life over a year ago. And Senator Kirk has displayed to me and to every single person in Washington, D.C. and here in Illinois the courage that it takes to not only fight for you as a U.S. Senator, but to fight for himself and fight for his health and fight for us. Mark Kirk is a courageous veteran who served our country. Mark Kirk is somebody that we all should strive to be. Mark, you know what, buddy? This crowd here, they're showing me something that I think I ought to say, because you've shown all of us that we should never, ever give up. And I give to you, Senator Mark Kirk. Come on, never give up. Never give up. Never give up, Mark. Come on, buddy.
I would say never give up, and I will not ever give up in Illinois. Thanks, guys. We are the 5th largest industrial state, and too much is, I think everybody should agree that our Republican fiscally conservative values are the way forward to make sure that we are the ones who are going to rescue Illinois. We already know how to do it. With our economic policies, we can do it. We can, one of the worst things, one of the more depressing things you can do is on Google, just put in the word Detroit and hit images. What you see will astound you. We know how to protect the people of Illinois from the fate that befell the people of Detroit. And more and more of your friends and neighbors will recognize that the Republican way is the way to protect the people of Illinois from that kind of fate. And we're going to carry that. So I would encourage you, do not give up on this state. It's worth too much. Never give up. So we will roll forward as Republicans.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Never give up.
Excellent.
Thanks, Rodney.
Thank you, buddy.
And never give up on Congressman Davis. It sounds great to me.
Thank you.
Does
Thank
great.
you.
So, yeah. Okay, thanks everybody. Never give up.
Good job. Good job. Wow, if that's not an inspiration to get you out working and electing Republicans, I don't know what is. Thank you, Senator. You are an inspiration, and we promise you that we will not give up. I'd like to introduce, we're very fortunate, and our dear friend, and someone I've known a long time since from his days in the State House. Congressman Randy Hultgren is here with us today. Randy is from Winfield, Illinois, and we're delighted he could be with us.
Thanks, Chairman. Thank you. Thank you all so much. It is so good to be with you today. It is great to be with my good friends and colleagues, Rodney Davis, Congressman Rodney Davis, and Senator Mark Kirk. I do want to give you greetings from the last bastion of freedom and liberty out in Washington, D.C., the Republican House. And we are fighting, and we've got some really big issues coming up over the next couple months that we need your support on to make sure that we stay strong and that we have a strong nation going forward. I am so excited, first of all, for this day. Have you ever seen a more beautiful day at the Illinois State Fair? This is awesome. I've been down here for decades and never been at a day like this. God is smiling on the Republicans and excited about what 2014 is going to look like. I was disappointed, as we all were, what happened in 2012. But I see such a difference happening for 2014, and I just want to challenge you. We've got some incredible opportunities in Congress here in Illinois to hold on to the seats that we were successful in winning in 10 and those that we did hold on in 12, and then winning back those that, because of the map, slipped away in 12. We can win these back with Bobby Schilling and Bob Dole and others. So excited about potential there, and sending that message throughout the state as well of winning Illinois back. My challenge to you is we've got to work harder than we've ever worked before. We've got to be honest with ourselves. We got beat on the ground in 2012. That's our game. That's Republicans' game. Walking door to door, knocking on doors, talking to people, having coffees in our precincts. We slipped away from that. We slipped into making phone calls. Nothing wrong with that, but it's not the best way to connect with people. So I'm challenging you and challenging myself and challenging all of us to do more than we've ever done before. Get out and walk your precinct right now, this month. These next couple of months, get out the next couple of times. Start talking to people. As you do, you'll hear the same thing I'm hearing, that people are fed up with Springfield. They're fed up with Democratic control of Illinois, what they've done to us here. And we are going to win back this state in 2014 and win back our nation. God bless you all. Thank you for what you're doing. Have a great day at Republican Day at the Fair. Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman. You know, I've got to tell you, we are so lucky in Illinois that we have such a dynamic congressional delegation. Not only do we have the young guns, but we've got some of the elder statesmen now, like Randy. and John Shimkus to go along with Aaron Schock and Rodney Davis and Adam Kinzinger. We've got some. We've got some. Washington looks at our delegation just with an incredible awe, and that's something we should be really proud of. And somebody else who we're really, really proud of probably doesn't even need an introduction. A lady who I first met a couple of years ago, working the Hobie Day Parade, which is it's a magical figure in Cicero and Berwyn, where we had numerous presidents. But I first met Judy at the Hobie Day Parade, which is a big event in West Suburban Cook, and our dear friend, who just has endless energy and has been a wonderful, fantastic comptroller for the state, Judy Bartopinka.
Well, thanks very much, but I want you to know that Jack Dorgan was around a lot longer than I was. My hair is not as gray as his, but there's a reason for that, I guess. But to all of you, if you haven't figured it out yet, when you see this kind of a turnout, this kind of excitement on Republican Day, something is going on. What is it? I think folks here in the state of Illinois have finally had enough. They've seen a state totally run by our little friends over on the Democratic Party, and they've seen a state suffer something terribly, an embarrassment, nationally, where we're taking on heat all the time for the fiscal problems of this state, and basically have said, it's time for a change, real change, not hopey-dopey change, real live change, all right? And it's the kind of change I think that will be very productive, because we've got some great candidates who are running for office. Really, really good, solid candidates. Whomever you pick, you're going to land well. And when you've been around politics as long as I have, in fact, Hollywood even made a movie in my honor called War Horse. But when you've been around, when there's like electricity in the air, and I can kind of feel it. I can feel it moving around, because people are churning and they're saying, let's move, let's get something done here. And we can do it with Republicans. We got good people, and it's all about you. Not about us, all about you, all about our party. And our party is worth a lot, and it's good on fiscal matters. We got a good controller watching the store. We certainly want to keep her in office. We really would like to do that. Right. Yeah. It helps to know the job, and it helps to do the job. And we have kept so many things afloat, even in times of travail when things have been tough monetarily. But we're the fiscal spine of this state. And with my wonderful staff, I don't want to tell you it's about me. I have the world's greatest staff. They're good, they're professional, they're progressive, and they got good hearts. And that's what it's all about. Good hearts, make sure that the people of Illinois are safe, sound, fiscally secure, and that our little world will be okay. So to all of you, thank you for coming out, supporting the party, really getting in there. I think it's going to be a good year for all of us. God bless you all.
Thank you, Comptroller Topinka. I guess I'm a little taller. There's a fresh face in Illinois politics. His name's Doug Truax. Doug's a 43-year-old West Point grad, Army veteran, and successful entrepreneur and businessman. He burst onto the scene last month as a credible challenger to the 40-year longtime Washington insider, Dick Durbin. How about a warm welcome for Doug Truax?
Well, hello. It's nice to meet everybody. Thank you, Chairman. Before I start, I wanted to say a word about Senator Mark Kirk. There's a man of courage that never gives up on service to his country. I hope that one day I get to work alongside such a great public servant and leader, from one military guy to another. Thank you, sir, for all that you've done. Appreciate it. So as the chairman said, my name is Doug Truax. I'm 43 years old. I've been married to Nicole for 21 years. I've got 3 teenage kids, Jack, Cole, and Abby, and we live in Downers Grove, not far from Good Samaritan Hospital. I'm a West Point graduate. I have 6 years U.S. Army veteran, and I co-founded and run Veritas Risk Services in Oak Brook, Illinois. So why am I doing this? Why am I taking on Dick Durbin, a powerful U.S. Senator that is close friends with the President? I'm doing this because Dick Durbin and many of his colleagues have presided over the most profound age of decline in the history of Illinois. By almost any measure, population, jobs, the economy, budget, education, ethics, Illinois' stature as one of the most important states in the Union has been diminished, and his policies are directly impacting this decline. So I'm running because I love Illinois, I love this country, and I know that with the right leaders and the right policies, we can turn this decline around, and I'm looking forward to that. So I'm not, thanks. You know, I'm not well versed in the ways of Washington, but I do know that the federal government is too big. It overregulates us. It encourages dependency, which is not good for anybody. And I know it is unaccountable. We see that all the time now in the news. I think Dick Durbin is the poster boy for what's wrong with Washington. There's not a government program, regulation, or tax that he won't support. And he will cling to his 1960s liberal ideology no matter how many times it fails. We've seen that over and over. And he purports to be the champion of the middle class and the poor, but under his watch, their incomes have gone down and the prices have gone up. I'm telling you, in the military, when the battlefield results are failing, you have to change the strategy. In Dick Durbin's world, failure is not only an option, it seems to be the foregone conclusion and an ongoing nightmare for Illinois families. And it gets worse than that. Both the Chicago Tribune and the Wall Street Journal last week noted that Dick Durbin is writing letters harassing the donors of a free market advocacy group that he disagrees with. Anyone that cares about the First Amendment ought to be very concerned about that. Dick Durbin not only advocates the wrong policies, he then harasses the people who disagree with him. When I'm elected, this is going to change. I'm going to advocate for policies that showcase our enormous strengths and let our country flourish for everybody. I'm talking about tax reform, unleashed energy policy, and actually a coherent foreign policy. We don't have to continue dividing and punishing. We can elevate and multiply our resources. Our problems are made by men and women, and they can be corrected by men and women. It is our duty to restore the greatness of America, and with your help, we will defeat Dick Durbin and begin that process now. Thank you. God bless.
What a great candidate. First of all, I wanted to make an announcement, and she was here a little while ago, but the Miss Illinois County Fair, Amelia Martins from Orion, Illinois, which is in Rock Island, was here, and she was kind enough to stop by and say hello. And then my Miss Illinois County Fairs, my daughters Kayla, Grace, and Elizabeth, and my wife Kristen, I'd like to thank them too for putting up with this high-paid job. Thank you. Folks, the fastest way to change this state is to win back the governor's mansion. We all know that. The importance of winning the governor's mansion is the check and the balance that this state needs. The Madigan-Cullerton machine drew maps that are very difficult. We can win, but are very difficult. But the one way to check the legislature and check the Democratic control in this state is to win back the governor's office. And our first candidate for that office is from Hinsdale, Illinois, and a tremendous public servant, and a state senator, Kirk Dillard.
All right. Hey, welcome everybody. You know, Mike Madigan and the Democrats were invisible yesterday here at the State Fair. How about if we make them invisible in 2014? What do you think about that? It is great to be here. I love to look out at so many familiar faces of friends and family, supporters. Thank you very much. 4 years ago I ran for the office of the governor and I nearly won. There's a message there. Every vote counts, 193 votes, or the state might be different. But I got to point out, what I talked about 4 years ago when I ran is not necessarily true today. In fact, the condition of the state of Illinois is much, much worse. And the change that we need in this state is more apparent today than ever before. Illinois has become an embarrassment. We are a punchline on local late-night talk shows. We are overtaxed, we are overregulated, and our government underperforms day in and day out. We can and we must do better. I've been coming to the Republican Day here at the Illinois State Fair for years. As a former staff member, as a state senator, and as a Republican county chairman from DuPage County. I was here all day from dawn till dusk on Agriculture Day, and my daughters Emma and Ava have been here since they've been in diapers. And I come to these things every year, and I can tell you this year, it's different. There is excitement in the air. We're not all here with great record crowds because the weather's nice. We're here because we can take control of our government back again in 2014. And I can see it, you can feel it. You know, why are we excited? Because we know we can win back the governor's race. We also have to stop the total City Hall of Chicago dominance of state government. The City Hall way of doing things from Chicago has destroyed our state's reputation, it's destroyed our state's fiscal condition, and most importantly, it has destroyed our state's economy. And it's time for a change. The people of this state are tired of one-party control, of Madigan, of Blagojevich, of Quinn. It's time we returned a two-party system to Springfield. So we got to win, folks. You know, but to win, you got to nominate a candidate, a right candidate, somebody that has statewide support. We don't need a regional candidate. We need a candidate that can do well from Chicago to Cairo. I know Illinois. I have had the honor and privilege of being educated, lived, and worked in all parts of this state. I love this place. I love this state. We are the capital of the Midwest, the agriculture, financial, cultural, and industrial capital of Middle America. But to be last in job creation in the Midwest with an unemployment rate more than twice of Iowa's is absolutely, absolutely intolerable. Now, before I began my service in the state Senate, I saw him tooling around here on the lawn. I happen to work for the last good, clean, and competent governor of this state. And while I look forward, not backward, I want to remind you what it was like to have a Republican government in Springfield. Our credit rating for the first time under Jim Edgar went up. It didn't go down. Would that be a nice change or what? And most importantly, and this is how we distinguish ourselves, Republicans versus Democrats. We need to tell the people of Illinois that the fiscal health of the state is directly tied to our unemployment rate. And in that administration, our unemployment rate was well below the national average, the lowest in 30 years. It does make a difference who controls the governor's office. And let me give you another reason why it makes a difference. You know, back in those days, we made Mike Madigan the minority leader, and we got to do it again. And as Judy Topinka will tell you, we waltzed in a Republican to every constitutional office in Illinois. So who you pick as the next governor is crucial to our economy, and it's crucial to the control of the Republican Party. Now, I know I have what it takes to lead. I have experience that money cannot buy. That's why I'm running for governor. That's why I need your support. I'm tested and I am prepared. Now, it really boils down to this. You know, can you win a general election? And here's the template on how you do it. I am a suburbanite with strong downstate roots. That's the winning template. My wife and I, Stephanie's tooling around here, we were married in a farming community right up the road of 400 in Elkhart, Illinois. And I know that agriculture is our state's most important industry, and I also know that the capital of Illinois is Springfield. It's not Chicago. So it is imperative that our party pick a candidate for governor that's going to do well in Chicago, where we get torpedoed every year. And we also have to have someone that can tool out the vote-rich Republican suburbs. And then last but not least, continue with our downstate brethren who get it and make us a red state again. So, Stephanie, Emma, Ava, we thank you for being here today. Together, all of us can make Illinois work again. I thank you. May God bless, continue to bless the land of Lincoln, the home, boyhood home of Ronald Reagan. And Steph, I, Emma, Ava, my supporters, will all see you at Fulgenzi's across from Gate 2. Save a little room for some pizza. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator. State Senator Bill Brady has a long history of rolling up his sleeves and getting the work done for his constituents and the people of the state of Illinois. We're glad he's with us today. He's got his running shoes on. Let's give it up for Bill Brady.
Well, good afternoon, and welcome to the 44th District. This is my Senate district. Welcome to the State Fair, where we're here today to celebrate a lot of things, including agriculture, the heritage of our great state and great country. I also want to introduce my wife, Nancy. Nancy's joining me here today. Nancy, thanks for being here. In case you didn't notice, she's got some shorts on and they have elephants on them. She's celebrating the Republican Party along with all of you. And it's great to see such a wonderful turnout. It was alluded to earlier today that I'm wearing running shoes. Part of the reason for that is I guess I was the topic of the Democratic discussion yesterday, as Governor Quinn alluded to the fact that I couldn't find my running shoes. Well, Governor Quinn, I've got my running shoes on today, and game on tomorrow for the next gubernatorial race in the state of Illinois. You know, there's a lot of people who wonder about the state of this state and the state of this country. And there's no question that in the last general election, we took in the shorts. We failed in many ways in this state to turn out the vote for various reasons. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you that the mission and the vision of the Republican Party in 2014 will prove a record turnout and a record number of Republicans elected to the legislature and statewide offices. We are a party of value, and we are a party of vision. And if we don't give up on the values of this party and the vision, and if we nominate candidates who stand for those values and that vision, we will win. Yes, in the last election, I came up 30,000 votes short. But ladies and gentlemen, Nancy and I are here today because we think and know we can build on the successes that we sought in that last election and take this state back and put it in Republican hands for the future of our children and grandchildren. And the good news is, all of our polling data shows that if that rematch were tomorrow, we would beat Pat Quinn hands down. Let's not give up on the Republican Party platform and our vision. You know, if higher taxes and higher fees and more litigation and more regulation created jobs, we'd be the #1 job-producing state in the nation. But it doesn't. The Democratic 67% tax increase has cost us over 290,000 jobs in the last 5 years. The Republican Party is the party of vision to bring those jobs back to Illinois. We're going to do it by cutting taxes, streamlining government, and bringing private sector jobs to the great state of Illinois once again. It is great to see each and every one of you here today. We appreciate the support that you've given us in the past, and we look forward to your support in the future. Nancy and I are also hosting something at the Sangamon County Republican headquarters after this event. If you didn't get enough food to eat here, we've got more over there. We hope you'll join us as we celebrate the beginning to a new Illinois. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, Senator Brady. By now, many of you have gotten to know Bruce Rauner as he's traveled across the state. Sometimes in unique fashions he's traveled across the state. He's a successful businessman, frustrated with the direction of Illinois, as are a lot of us. Please welcome Bruce Rauner.
Good afternoon, everybody. Today is a special day. It's an awesome day. Why? It's the beginning of the rebirth of the Republican Party in Illinois. We are going to rebuild our party. We are going to become the dominant party in this state once again, as we were in past years. And today is the beginning of that process. It's an honor for me to be here with you today. I am personally committed, a priority above everything else, including the governor's race. Number one priority for me in the next 18 months is to raise money for the Republican Party, to recruit members for the Republican Party, to recruit advocates and leaders and staff for the Republican Party, so we become the dominant party again in Illinois. Two things will get done in the next 18 months. One, we're going to rebuild the party, lay the foundation for unity and growth. It's our principles are the majority for Illinois. We're the majority for America. Limited government, low taxes, individual liberty, personal responsibility. Those are the principles that made us the greatest nation in the history of the world. Those are the founding principles of our party, and that's the reason. Those are the principles we're going to win in 2014 and then be the party of the future of Illinois. I've decided to run for governor. It's a big decision. I've never run for office in my life. I didn't even run for student council in high school. But I love the state, and we're going down the drain. We're in a death spiral, and the career politicians in Springfield have failed us repeatedly for years, and they're not going to fix our problems. The challenge is the special interest groups, the government union bosses, the trial lawyers, the folks who make their money on the backs of the taxpayers, they control Springfield, they control the Democratic Party. We have got to break their death grip that they have on our state and our taxpayers, and I'm on a mission personally to get that done. We've been traveling the state. We've been from Rockford to Mount Vernon, from Quincy to Champaign, and it's a blast. I had no idea how fun this would be. The people of our state are awesome. They're wonderful people. They're passionate. They love our state, but they realize our state's broken, and we have to turn it around. I've been in business for 30 years, and I've been a leader and a driver of results in everything I've ever touched, whether it's in business or civic leadership or school reform. I've been hardworking, trying to improve our community for my entire career. And I want to bring the success principles that we've applied in business, recruiting talented teams of leaders, building teams to drive results, managing a budget, cutting costs, recruiting businesses, relocating businesses. We've done that for decades. We're problem solvers. We're solution finders. We do tough contract negotiations, tough deal negotiations. We come up with solutions and drive results. Politicians don't do that. They go like this. They point in different directions and lay blame. From the business community, we drive results. The buck stops here. I'm going to take on those special interest groups in Springfield. We're going to turn our state around. I have 4 goals. I want to go to work for you. I'd be honored to go to work for you. I want 4 goals for our state. First, I want Illinois to become the #1 state in America for economic growth and job creation. We have everything going for us except bad politicians and bad politics in Springfield. We're going to clean it up, and we're going to become the growth state again, #1. Number 2, we're going to make Illinois government the most efficient, effective, and transparent state government in America. We're the worst government today. The governor has the power to turn it around and make it efficient and effective, just like we do in business. We're going to get that done as our second priority so we can lower the tax burden on the citizens and the homeowners here in Illinois. Third, I want to make education and training in Illinois world-class. World-class schools in every school district, early education, community colleges, universities, job trainings, veteran retraining. We've got to be world-class in education and training, and I will get that done. My wife and I have been working in education improvement for 30 years, and we've driven results. And then fourth and finally, and we've got to get this, and I commit to you today, we're going to get it on the ballot next year, I'm running on term limits. I want everybody in Springfield to become a public servant again, rather than a career politician who makes a lot of money from their political power. No more. 8 years and out. Madigan, Cullerton, the whole Democratic crowd, they're gone in 8 years no matter what. You know, when our nation was founded, George Washington could have been king. He could have been president for life. And you know what? He said, no, I'm a public servant. I'm going to leave after 8 years. Abraham Lincoln, when he served in the Illinois legislature, he left after 8 years. And you know what? If it's good enough for George Washington, it's good enough for Abraham Lincoln, it's good for all that crowd in Springfield. We're going to have term limits on everybody in the legislature. And if I'm honored to be your governor, I'll term limit myself and all future governors. We will get that done. I'm out traveling the state, building my name recognition. It's a heck of a lot of fun. It's a big decision. My wife and I debated whether I should run or not for about 18 months. I've got 6 kids. My youngest daughter said to me, Daddy, don't run for governor. I don't want you to go to jail. Sad commentary, isn't it? But now as we've traveled the state, we're building our name recognition, giving speeches, having a lot of fun. We're also starting to run some ads because I've got to get my name out there. The ads reception has been phenomenal. I hope you've seen them. If not, we'll make sure we'll run a few more to get the message. But I tell you, my friend said, Bruce, you've got a great radio voice. Unfortunately, you've got a face for radio too. Stay off television. But the response to the ads has been awesome. We're going to work hard. I promise you this. No one will outwork us in this race. No one will outmessage us in this race. No one will outfund us in this race. And we're going to beat the Democrats next year and turn our state around. God bless you. Thanks for your support of the Republican Party.
Thank you, Bruce. And Bruce was also, as everyone else is inviting people to come over to their festivities afterward, Bruce was kind enough to sponsor your lunch today. So thank you. Another face that probably doesn't need much of an introduction because you all know so well, but State Treasurer Dan Rutherford has provided great service to the people of Illinois. He's brought a lot of energy to every one of his campaigns and a lot of energy to this party. Please welcome Dan Rutherford.
Thank you all. Thank you very much. It is good to be back at the State Fair. This is not my first visit to a State Fair for Republican Day. And Jack Dorgan, thank you for your leadership. It was particularly nice to see our good friend Senator Mark Kirk here today. Absolutely. I want to take a moment and introduce a couple people that many of you have met on the campaign trail. A number of you have had a phone call from her. But my mother, Carol Rutherford's here, my sister, Debbie Fanero, and my brother-in-law, Fred Fanero. Thank you. Right on. Here, I've been with you at this thing for a lot of years. We've been together here when it was pouring down rain. Remember that one year the tornadoes were coming through? Darlene, you remember that? I think we wound up over there under that big building. I was here with you another year, and it was so hot. Remember that one, don't you? It was so hot out here at the State Fair. I've been with you when I was a candidate for treasurer. I was with you when I was a candidate, not a candidate, but the chairman to help elect a Republican president for the United States, and we had huge crowds out here. You remember that one, too. I've been in 102 counties of 102 counties. I've been to every single one of your counties around the state. Whether it's been me working to help elect county board members, county officers, township officials, state representatives, senators, or congressmen. I've invested my time into helping build the Republican Party for years and years. When I got elected as state treasurer, it wasn't an easy thing to have accomplished. Keep in mind, when I ran in 2010, every single constitutional officer in the state of Illinois was a Democrat from Chicago. I don't think we need any more folks from Chicago leading our government here, do we? When I got elected, it was not easy to do. And people looked at me and said, how are you going to do this? You're a Central Illinois. You're a Republican. You're white. You're conservative. My opponent was an African-American female from the city of Chicago, Democrat, with an Irish last name. And we worked it hard. I want to have a very serious discussion with you because some of you know I can pull the pin and get this place all cheering and rallying. That's not what I'm going to do with you this year in Republican Day. I want to have a conversation with you because what we're about to do in March is nominate our standard bearer to take us into November of 2014 to actually have the best shot in a long time to allow the Republican Party to earn the right to govern. When I ran in 2010, I got 50% of the vote in a four-way race. Now think about what I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen. Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, and Green. You put four people on the ballot and one person walks out getting 50% of the vote, that's an awfully doggone good showing. Now, many of you know I'm from Central Illinois, and I love it when my friends from Chicago say, oh, you're from Pontiac, you must be from Southern Illinois. No, Springfield's not even Southern Illinois, and I've been to Marion, and I can tell you what, I've been to Cairo, Illinois. Now, that is Southern Illinois. And as we looked at this whole race, you cannot win. Now, I say this, where my professional career comes from in DuPage County. I've been a vice president service master for 25 years, based in DuPage County. With all respect, if you do not get, now listen to me, this is about winning the governor's office. If you do not get 20% on a statewide race out of the city of Chicago, you will not win a race. You will not win a race. I ran as treasurer, and I got 22% of the city of Chicago, and I got elected. Now here's the other one. Oh, we'll get more than votes than that when we're the governor candidate too. How do you do it? It's about showing up, and I'm telling my Republican friends, whether they're from the small rural counties or the 42nd Ward of the city of Chicago, we as a Republican Party must reach into communities of diversity. We must look and work with people of different ethnicities and different religions to earn the right to govern the state of Illinois. I know what I'm talking about. And we can go right down from Eastern European to the Latino to the African American and especially the Asian community. They're Americans. They're registered to vote. They care about taxes. They care about the future generation of debt that the Democrats have put on us, and they care about the size of government. If we go there, we work with them, they will come on board to support the Republican Party. I've shown it. I can do it again. One more thing. And I know Pat Quinn doesn't like me talking about it, but so what? When I ran for governor, as I ran for treasurer down ballot, the top of our tickets are governor and our U.S. Senate, right? Now, I know there's a different race between treasurer and governor. There's a lot more money for you and against you. I get all that. But an indication, I'm down ballot. By the time you get to vote for me, some people don't go there. Get ready. As treasurer of state of Illinois, candidate in 2010, I got 66,000 more votes for treasurer than Pat Quinn got winning the governor's race. Republicans, you want a standard bearer come March? You want the man that's going to put us in the mansion because of November 15? I'm going to be the guy. And when we do, there's going to be that day in January 2015. And 6 people are going to walk on a stage here at our state capitol at the Prairie Capitol Convention Center to raise their right hand. And because of the constitutional protocol of this state, it will be the office of governor. And if each one of you out there do what we know we can do, we reach to communities of diversity. We go to the small rural areas. We go to the North Lake Shore of Chicago. We go to the Wisconsin border. If we all do what we know we can do, I'm going to be the guy taking that oath of office as governor, and we're going to turn this state around with all of your help. God bless you, and thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Wow. As the state chairman, we have a lot of great partners that we work with, And as I mentioned, a number of you know, and our good friend who's also the Fayette County Chairman happens to be the president of the Illinois Republican County Chairmen's Association. Let me introduce Randy Pollard, my partner, somebody who helps us day in and day out and is part of this great team we're putting together.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all for being here. A huge thank you to the county chairman and all the precinct committeemen out there. I do thank you for all you do. And we have a tough job. We all know that. But I don't think we understand the other people that have a tougher job than even we do. And I think Senate Republican leader Christine Radogno is a perfect example of that. She has to work day in and day out with the Senate Democrats. That's not a tough job. Matter of fact, this is probably about the first time I've seen Christine attend the Republican Day at the State Fair. She hasn't been in a cast yet, so she's healthy. We need to send her some help. She's tired of fighting these guys on her own. So let's give a big round of applause and a big welcome to Senate Republican leader Christine Radogno.
Well, I may have had a cast a year or two, but like the Republican Party, I'm resilient. And I come back. What a day. I mean, great weather, great crowd, and most importantly, great candidates. I mean, you've gotten to hear from the gubernatorials. You'll still hear from Bob Grogan, a treasurer candidate, but we have a lot of potential here. Our job, we're the guys that are going to be out there knocking on the doors, encouraging people to vote for our candidates that we're supporting in the primary, but come November, we're going to all be working to elect a Republican governor. Critically important. Throughout, though, the one message that we need to take to the folks that we contact throughout the process is that they've got to tune out the Democrats. They will talk, 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 talk. But what we need to keep people focused on is they have to see what the state of Illinois has become. We no longer are at our peak potential. We can be a better state than we are now, and we need Republican leadership. We need a two-party system to do that, and you are the people that are going to help that happen. So thank you. Enjoy your day at the fair.
Also, one of the things that we don't want to forget is we don't want to forget our candidates down ballot. They are important. Without them, there's a lot of the governor candidates, and they just can't perform their job well. So we need to make sure that we do everything we can to keep people out, to look at that down ballot candidate. And we're fortunate here today to have one of those treasurer candidates, Bob Grogan, here. And I'd like to have Bob come up and say a few words.
Now, as the culmination of your entire day, you're going to hear from the accountant. My name is Bob Grogan. I'm the DuPage County Auditor, which means I've been elected twice in a county of 1 million people. What I do is I look for fraud, waste, and abuse. Now, this is Illinois, so I'm pretty busy in addition to campaigning. I'm a CPA, and if I get elected, I'll be the first CPA in the history of Illinois to be treasurer. Now, I say that, and generally, I do say it a lot because I think that, that's my credential that probably means the most. And it's funny, I see in people's faces, first they're like, no, there has to have been a CPA sometime, as treasurer. And then about 10 seconds later, they go, oh yeah, this is Illinois. It does make total sense that we've never actually elected somebody with a CPA. I'm also a certified fraud examiner. I was giving a speech the other day, a couple weeks back, and somebody shouted out from the audience and said, hopefully you have a flak jacket. And I expect to have to rent quite a few of those if I go down to Springfield, or stay here in Springfield as it is. So if you own a business and you went out and you needed to hire a treasurer, I would be on that list that you would be looking at to hire. I don't know why Illinois would be any different to not going out to hire somebody who actually is qualified to do the job. The other thing, obviously, we have to campaign. Now, most CPAs are kind of got the eye shade and they're in their cubicle and they're afraid to answer the phone. Well, I'm no shrinking violet. I've been to over 40 counties in the last 6 months, and you're going to see me everywhere else because no one will work harder than I will. So I look forward to seeing you again and again and again. I look forward to being part of the team that is going to take back this state from the people who are bankrupting it. The Democrats send you the tax bill, and then they spend all the money. You need somebody trustworthy in between to watch over it, and that's me. Thank you very much.
Again, what a great day we've had. We are so blessed to have such great candidates, but these candidates can't do it without all of your help. And not only your help, but your friends' help and your family's help and your neighbors' help. You gotta get out and talk to people about the Republican Party. We've got a great message. We've got a lot of great candidates. We've got a lot of other great candidates that are here with us today, some that aren't here. We've got a number of great state senators and state reps who are here who we'd love to introduce, but we want you to go out and have fun at the state fair. So thank you all so very much on behalf of the entire Republican Party, the County Chairman's Association, and
You're watching the Illinois Channel, an independent nonprofit corporation formed to provide gavel-to-gavel coverage of Illinois state government and other public affairs events taking place across Illinois.